Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Ancha Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Pattanam Pavane Vaishnavabhyo Namo. Neka Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. All have given examination. Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, that's what we asking.
Chapter 8 Mataji. Questions by King Parikshit.
We have to start
Chapter
chapter
8.
8.
No,
Yes,
Mataji, we have
Mataji.
started 8.10, Mataji.
8.10. Barabar?
I think so. I think so. If I'm right, it is 8.10.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mataji. Last week I could not.
8.10.
Krishna Prabhu, some strange voice is coming from your phone. Listen with your phone. Okay. Questions by Parikshit Maharaj. 8.10. We had done till 8.7. We had done. Brahmaji was able to see the form of Lord. Till there, right? 8.10. From next time,
Mataji, we have to start from 8.10.
yeah. From next time, where we end now, there you should write in the group. We have completed till here because there are so many classes we forget. So better is note it down. Sachapi yatra purusho vishwasiti Vishwasitiyudbhavapyayah Muktvatma Mayamaishah Shete Sarva Bhashayah. So here, please also explain the personality of God who lies in everyone's heart as Paramatma, as a Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy. So now here we saw that how the questions have been again asked because the satisfaction is not there. Parikshit Maharaj wants to know more from Sukadeva Goswami. I want to know, I want to hear more about Krishna. I want to hear now more about the Lord. He is Purusha, he is a person, he is a maintainer, he is a creator, he is an animator. But how is it that he is untouched? Muktva. And he appears by his own Maya, Atma Maya. Maya Ishaha. He is a lord of all the energies, Maya Isha. And in this way, Sarva Bhuyashana relies in everyone's heart. Bhuyashana. Purusha Vayava Vairokaha Sapala Purvakalpitaha Loke Ramushya Vayavaha Sapalayir Iti Vishruma. It was formally explained that all the planets of the universe with their respective governors are situated in the different parts of the gigantic body of Virata Purusha. I've also heard the different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha, but what is their actual position? Will you explain that also? So Purusha is a Virata Purusha, universal form. Anvayaha, the different parts of the body, Lokaha, the planets are there. And also the respective governors are also there. This formally it was discussed. So in this way, along with the, I have heard that they are there along with the, we have discussed also, I have heard also. Yavan kalpo vikalpo va yatha kalo no niyate bhuta bhavya bhavat shabda bhavat shabda shabda itischa bhavat shabda ayurmanam chayat satah. So the duration of time, kalpaha, between creation and annihilation. Again, there is a subcreation, subsidiary creation, as well as the annihilation. I want to know the time period. Kalaha anumiyate. How is it measured? This past, present, future. How we understand? What is the nature of this time? So please explain to me. Says the measurement, even the measurement of all life, measurement of all the living entities also. Then, what is the duration of life for demigods, for human beings, for all the living entities in different planets of the universe? What are the questions asked? No. Time duration. So many questions are asked. First about Lord, then about the planets, then about the living entities. Step by step, just see how many questions. Even if before also there were questions, isn't it? Now here the questions have started. Let us see. Next question also is here. And then we will कालस्यानुगतिर्याति लक्ष्यतेऽन्वीबृहत्यपि यावत्यः कर्मैगतयो यादृशीर् च सत्तम. So this time, Kala, Anugataha. So how it is the beginning of it. Then the cause of duration of time, both short and long. But what is the cause of short duration, long duration that is given? Anvi, Brahati, Yavataha, Karmagataha, as well as the beginning of the time following the course of action. When the time started, beginning of the time. When the time started, time is eternal, na? When it started, and what is the duration of any action? How it is small time, big time. How to identify what is the cause of all this duration of time? The next is 14 verses complete. And Narayana, if you're free, you do all the verses. Okay? Yasmin karma samavayu
Yes, Mataji.
Wait. I'm reading 14th one. After that, you read from 10 to 14 with all. Yasmin karma samavayu yatayenopagriyate guninam chaiva parinamam abhisatam. So now karma is there, and actually karmic reactions samavaya, how they are accumulated. So this karma is because of the modes of material nature, gunina, of the living entities, parinana, what are the results. Prabhupada has written a big translation for it. If you see, it is a small one actually. But to make us understand, kindly describe how the proportional accumulation of the three reactions resulting from the three modes of material nature act upon the desiring living entities, promoting or degrading them among the different species. Now, this is an extra line which Prabhupada has written, beginning from the demigods down to the insignificant creatures. Because what is a parinam? Prabhupada has explained to us. What is the parinam of the accumulated reactions, either in the upper planetary system or the lower planetary system, earthly planetary systems? So, in this way, these are the parinams. Okay, now you're free, then you read all from 10. Prasad, Narayana.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I'm here. So I should be reading from 2.8.10 to 2.8.14.
10 to 14.
Yes, Mataji. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. स चापि यत्र पुरुषो विश्वस्थित्यत्युभवाप्ययः मुक्त्वात्ममायां मायेश शेते सर्वगुहाशयः. Translation and purport by Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Please also explain the personality of Godhead who lies in every heart as a super soul and as the Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy. Purport: undoubtedly, the form of the Lord who was seen by Brahma must be transcendental. Otherwise, how could he simply look upon the creative energy without being touched? It is understood also that the same Purusha lies in the heart of every living entity. This also requires proper explanation. पुरुषा वयवैर्लोकाः सपाला सर्वकल्पिताः लोकैरमुष्य लोकैरमुष्यावयवाः सपालैरिति शुश्रुमु शुश्रु शुश्रुम. Translation: O learned Brahmana, it was formally explained that all the planets of this universe, with their respective governors, are situated in different parts of the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha. I have also heard that the different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha. But what is their actual position? Will you explain that? यावन् कल्पो विकल्पो वा यथा कालो नुमीयते भूतभव्यभवच्छब्द आयुर्मानं च यत्सतः. Translation: also please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation and that of other subsidiary creations as well as the nature of time indicated by the sound of past, present and future. Also, please explain the duration and measurement of life of the different living beings known as the demigods, the human beings, etc., in different planets of the universe. Purport: past, present, and future are different features of time to indicate the duration of life for the universe and all its paraphernalia, including the different living beings in different planets. कालस्यानुगतिर्यातु लक्ष्यतेऽन्विबृहत्यपि यावत्य यावत्य कर्मगतयो यादृशिर्द्विजसत्तमा. O purest of Brahmanas, please also explain the cause of different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time following the course of action. यस्मिन् कर्मसमावायो यथा ने यथा येनोपगृह्यते गुणानां गुणिनां चैव परिणाम परिणाममभीप्सताम्. Translation: then again, kindly describe how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from the different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being, promoting or degrading him among the different species of life, beginning from the demigods down to the most insignificant creatures. Purport: the actions and reactions of all works in the material modes of nature, either in the minute form or in the gigantic form, are accumulated, and thus the result of such accumulated actions and the reactions of karma or work become manifested in the same proportion. How such actions and reactions take place, what the different procedures are, and in what proportion they act are all subject matters of Maharaj Parikshit's inquiry from the great Brahmana Shukadev Goswami. Life in the higher planet, known as the abodes of the denizens of heaven, is obtained not by the strength of spacecraft as is now being contemplated by the inexperienced scientists, but by the work done in the modes of goodness. Even on the very planet where we are living now, there are restrictions upon the entrance of foreigners into a country where the citizens are more prosperous. For example, the American government has many restrictions on the entrance of foreigners from less prosperous countries. The reason is that The Americans do not wish to share their prosperity with any foreigner who has not qualified himself as a citizen of America. Similarly, the same mentality is prevailing in other planets where there are more intelligent living beings residing. The higher planetary living conditions are all in the mode of goodness, and anyone desiring to enter the higher planets like the Moon, Sun, and Venus must qualify thoroughly by activity in complete goodness. Maharaj Parikshit's inquiries are on the basis of proportionate actions of goodness, which qualify one in this planet to be promoted to the highest regions of the universe. Even on this planet of our present residence, one cannot achieve a good position within the social order without being qualified with proportionate good work. One cannot forcibly sit on the chair of a high court judge without being qualified for the post. Similarly, one cannot enter into the higher planetary systems without being qualified by good works in this life. Persons addicted to the habits of passion and ignorance have no chance of entering the higher planetary systems simply by an electronic mechanism. According to the statement of Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti Devavrata Devan Pitru Yanti Pitruvata Bhutani Yanti Bhutejya Yanti Madhya Jinopi Mam. Persons trying to qualify themselves for promotion to the higher heavenly planets can go there. Similarly, persons trying for the Pitru Lokas can go there. Similarly, persons trying to improve the conditions on this earth can also do that. And persons who are engaged in going back home, back to Godhead, can achieve that result. The various actions and reactions of work in the mode of goodness are generally known as pious work with devotional service, culture of knowledge with devotional service, mystic powers with devotional service, and at last, devotional service unmixed with any other variety of goodness. This unmixed devotional service is transcendental and is called para bhakti. It alone can promote a person to the highest transcendental kingdom of God. Such a transcendental kingdom is not a myth, but is as factual as the moon. One must have transcendental qualities to understand the kingdom of God and God Himself. Hare Krishna.
Next verse. भूपालल भूपालक भूपाता भूपातालककुव्योमा ग्रहनक्षत्रभूभृतां सरित्समुद्रद्वीपानां सम्भवश्चैतदोक्षसाम्. So Loka Bhupatala, underneath the land, Bhupatala, Kakupa, the four sides of the heavens, Vyoma, the sky. So now Parishad Maharaj is asking, please describe the four directions of the heavens, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, the islands. I want to know everything. Who are all inhabitants? Okshasa. Who are all the inhabitants of these planets? That means in the rivers also there are the rivers also they are existing. The islands also they are existing. Stars also they are existing. I want to know who are all existing in these places. Amal Krishna Prabhu, please read.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। भूपातालुकु व्योम ग्रह नक्षत्र भूभृतां सरित समुद्र विपानां संभवश्चेकदोकसाम्। Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O best of the Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the four directions of the heavens, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as their different kinds of inhabitants take place. Purport. The inhabitants of different varieties of land, etc., are differently situated and not all of them are equal in all respects. The inhabitants of the land are different from the inhabitants of the water or the sky, and similarly, the inhabitants of the different planets and stars in the sky are also different from one another. By the laws of the Lord, no place is vacant, but the creators of one particular place are different from those of the other places. Even in human society, the inhabitants of the jungles or the deserts are different from those of the cities and villages. They are so made according to different qualities of the modes of nature. Such adjustment by the laws of nature is not blind. There is a great plan behind the arrangement. Maharaja Parikshit requests the great sage Sukadeva Goswami to explain all these authoritatively in accordance with proper understanding. Hare.
Okay, next. प्रमाणम् अण्डकोशस्य भायाभ्यन्तरभेदतः महतां चानुचरितं वर्णाश्रमविनिश्चयः. Now, Andakoshasya, that means the universe's extent measurement. That means I want to know the measurement of every universe. I want to know the outer space, inner space, Bhedataha, the divisions. And also, I want to know about Mahatam, the great souls, their characters, their activities. I want to know about the caste, ashrama. Please describe. See how deeply the questions are also asked. The length of the universe, the measurement of the universe, how the great souls are there, what are their nature. Okay? Krishna Priya, read. Kusum, you can read. Kusum.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Pramanam Antakoshasya भायाभ्यान्तरभेदतः महतां चारुचरितं वर्णाश्रमविनिश्चयः. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the castes and orders of social life. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit is a typical devotee of Lord Krishna, and as such, he is anxious to know the complete significance of the creation of the Lord. He wants to know the inner and outer space of the universal form. It is quite fitting for the real searcher of knowledge to know all about this. Those who are of the opinion that the devotees of the Lord are satisfied with mere sentiments can find in the enquiries of Maharaj Parikshit good lessons as to how inquisitive a pure devotee is to know things in their true perfection. The modern scientist is unable to know about the inner space of the universal horizon and what to speak of the space which covers the universe. Maharaj Parikshit is not satisfied with only material knowledge. He is inquisitive about the character and activities of the great souls, the devotees of the Lord. The glories of the Lord and the glories of his devotees combined together comprise the complete knowledge of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna showed his mother the complete universal creation within his mouth, while she, completely charmed by her son, wanted to look inside the mouth of the Lord just to see how much earth the child had eaten. By the grace of the Lord, the devotees are able to see everything in the universe within the mouth of the Lord. The very idea of the scientific divisions of four classes of human society and four orders of life is also inquired about herewith on the basis of individual personal quality. The four divisions are exactly like the four divisions of one's personal body. The parts and parcels of the body are not different from the body, but by themselves they are only parts. That is the significance of the whole scientific system of four castes and four social orders. The value of such scientific divisions of human society can be ascertained only in terms of the
proportionate development of devotion service to the Lord. Any person employed in government service, including the president, is a part and parcel of the entire government. Everyone is a government servant, but no one is the government himself. That is the position of all living entities in the government of the Supreme Lord. No one can artificially claim the supreme position of the Lord, but everyone is meant to serve the purpose of the supreme whole. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Next. युगानि युगमानं च धर्मो यश्च युगे युगे अवतारानुचरितं यदाश्चर्यतमं हरेः. I want to know the different ages in duration of creation. So also the particular occupational duty in every yuga. I want to know that. What's happening in every yuga, what is the duration of the yugas, and how Lord incarnates in different yugas. Avatara Anucharitam, and what are the activities of the incarnations? And they're all wonderful activities. Ascharyatamam of the, I want to know about Hari of the Lord. Okay, Kusum, you want Kusum, read?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. युगानि युगमानं च धर्मो यश्च युगे युगे अवतारानुचरितं यद् आश्चर्यतमं हरेः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please explain all the different ages and the duration of the creation and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the Lord in different ages. Purport: Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, although non-different from him, are emanations from the Supreme. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from the great and learned sage Sukadev Goswami about the different activities of such incarnations so that the incarnation of the Lord might be confirmed by his activities in the authoritative scriptures. Maharaj Parikshit was not to be carried away by the sentiments of the common man to accept an incarnation of the Lord very cheaply. Instead, he wished to accept the incarnation of the Lord by symptoms mentioned in the Vedic literatures and confirmed by an acharya like Sukadev Goswami. The Lord descends by his internal energy without any obligation to the laws of material nature, and thus his activities are also uncommon. The specific activities of the Lord are mentioned, and one should know that the activities of the Lord and the Lord Himself are identical due to being on the absolute plane. Thus, to hear the activities of the Lord means to associate with the Lord directly, and association with the Lord directly means purification from material contamination. We have already discussed this point in the previous volume. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Next one. नृणां साधारणो धर्म सविशेषश्च यादृशः श्रेणीनां राजर्षीणां च धर्मकृच्छ्रेषु जीवताम्. And also I want to know about dharma. What is the dharma? And then about three classes also. What is the specific duty for the three classes? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. What are their occupational duties? And Kusheshu Jivata. And what should be the religious principles for those who are suffering? It's very important. What is the religion? What is the dharma? What should they do if they are suffering? What is the classification of the social orders? What is the administration royal orders? So I want to know about everything. Ram Sadharano Dharma. One is, in general, what should be the occupation, and then specific occupations for the three classes of people, and then again the occupation for the people in distress. So three kartavyas have been spoken. General, common what is should be the dharma of everyone, specific dharmas, and when people are in distress, what should they do? Vimla, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Naranam sadharano dharma savishesha yadrishah Shreninam Rishinam cha dharma pracheshu jivatam. Translation. Please also explain what may generally be the common religious affiliation of human society as well as their specific occupational duties in religion, the classification of social orders as well as the administrative royal orders, and the religious principles for one who may be in distress. Purport. The common religion of all classes of human beings, regardless of whosoever and whatsoever one may be, is devotional service. Even the animals may be included in devotional service to the Lord, and the best example is set by Sri Vajrangaji or Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Sri Ram. As we have already discussed, even the aborigines and cannibals can also be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord if they happen to be under the guidance of genuine devotee of the Lord. In the Puran, there is a narration that a hunter in the jungle became the most enlightened devotee of the Lord by the guidance of Sri Narad Muni. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord can be equally shared by every human being. Religious affiliation in terms of different countries and cultural circumstances is obviously not the common religion of the human being. Rather, the basic principle is devotional service. Even if a particular type of religious principle does not recognize the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the followers still have to obey the disciplinary principles laid down by a particular leader. Such a leader of a religious sect is never the supreme leader because such a circumstantial leader comes to the position of leadership after undergoing some penance. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not, however, require to be under disciplinary action to become leader, as we see in the activities of Lord Krishna. The occupational duties of the castes and the orders of society, following the principles of livelihood, also depend on the principle of devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that a person can achieve the highest perfection of life simply by awarding the results of his occupational duty into the devotional service of the unto the devotional service of the Lord. People following the principles of devotional service to the Lord can never be put into difficulty, and thus there cannot be any question of apad dharma or religion in distress. As will be explained in this book by the greatest authority, Sri Shukdev Goswami, there is no religion save and except the devotional service of the Lord, though this may be presented in different forms. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Next. तत्त्वानां परिसङ्ख्यानं लक्षणं हेतुलक्षणं पुरुषाराधनविधिर् योगस्याध्यात्मिकस्य च. Now, Parishad Maharaj wants to know about the elements that constitute the creation and the number of such elements. How many elements are there? See what? Difficult questions, huh? Lakshanam. What are the symptoms of the causes? What are the lakshana? Then, what are the rules and regulations in the performance of devotional service? This cultivation of the yoga system, adhyatmikasya, spiritual methods leading to devotional service. So he wants to know everything. Next, yogaishwaraishwarya gatir yogaishwarya gatir lingabhangas tu yoginam vedopaveda dharmanam itihasa puranayoho. Yoga Ishwaraha. So he is a master of mystic powers. And then Aishwarya. He has the opulence. Gatihi lingaha bhangaha too. So now the opulence of the great mystics have been spoken. And then how they become detached with the astral body, subtle astral body. Even they are detached from the manbuddhi ahankara, subtle astral body. And then about what is the basic knowledge of the Vedic literatures, including the branches of history and the supplementary Puranas. Basic knowledge. What is the basic knowledge? Yogina Vedaha Upavedaha Dharmanam Itihasa Purana. So what is there in the Vedas? What is there in the Puranas, histories, and all these things have been inquired. So many inquiries are there in this. In this chapter, you find so many inquiries. And these inquiries form the basis of Bhagavatam. So, Atra Sarga Visarga Shastanam Poshra Mutaya Manvantara Ishanu Katha Nirodho Mukti Ashraya. All these things have come from where? From third canto starts the Sarga, the creation. Then fourth canto, Visarga. So, all the subject matters have been discussed, but the question has been asked. So, we can see various types of questions which is asked. Amal Prabhu, please read.
तत्त्वानां परिसङ्ख्यानं लक्षणं हेतुलक्षणं पुरुष आराधन विधिर्योगस्य आध्यात्मिकस्य च. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Kindly explain all about the elementary principles of creation, the number of such elementary principles, their causes and their development, and also the process of devotional service and the method of mystic powers. 20. Yogeshware Eshware Gatir Lingabhangam Yoginam Vedupaveda Dharmanam Itihasa Puranayo. Translation. What are the opulences of the great mystics and what is their ultimate realization? How does the perfect mystic become detached from the subtle astral body? What is the basic knowledge of the Vedic literatures, including the branches of history and the supplementary Puranas? Purport. The Yogeshwara, or the master of mystic powers, can exhibit 8 kinds of wonders of perfection by becoming smaller than the atom or lighter than a feather, getting anything and everything he desires, going anywhere and everywhere he likes, creating even a planet in the sky, etc. There are many Yogeshwaras having different proficiencies in these wonderful powers, and the topmost of all of them is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the greatest yogi, and he can perform such wonderful things far beyond the ordinary living beings. The devotees of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, do not directly practice the process of mystic powers, but by the grace of Lord, his devotee can defeat even a great Yogeshwara like Durvasa Muni, who picked up a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish and wanted to show the wonderful achievements of his mystic powers. Maharaj Ambarish was a pure devotee of the Lord, and thus, without any effort on his part, the Lord saved him from the wrath of Yogeshwar Durvasa Muni, and the latter was obliged to beg pardon from the king. Similarly, at the time of Draupadi's precarious position, when she was attacked by the Kurus who wanted to see her naked in the open assembly of the royal order, the Lord saved her from being stripped by supplying an unlimited length of sari to cover her. And Draupadi, knowing nothing about mystic powers, therefore The devotees are also Yogeshwara by the unlimited power of the Lord, just as a child is powerful by the strength of the parents. They do not try to protect themselves by any artificial means, but are saved by the mercy of the parents. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from the learned Brahmana Shukadeva Goswami about the ultimate destination of great mystics or how they attain such extraordinary paths by their own efforts or by the grace of the Lord. He inquired also about their detachment from the subtle and gross material bodies. He inquired also about the purpose of the Vedic knowledge. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the whole purport of all the Vedas is to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become a transcendental loving servant of the Lord.
Your
Hare.
voice is not heard. Others are able to hear?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji, we are able to
Mataji.
hear
Yes,
Mataji.
yes.
Okay. My voice is audible, na?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Why your voice is coming very low?
Who's my voice?
I'm plugging this, na? There. Nikhil, now you talk something? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, able to hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, tell me.
Able to hear me? Hare Krishna.
Somewhere I'm not able to hear the sound
Mataji,
properly. Hare Krishna.
on the top, you are able to see Sri Jagannath Devasthanam. उसके बगल में there is a speaker sign.
Okay, I'll read. This is the last verse. Something wrong with my mobile. The moment I fit in this, okay, let me see. Nikhil, just say something. Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, able to hear me?
Okay, my voice is there, na?
Yes, your voice.
सर्वभूतानां विक्रमः प्रतिसङ्क्रमः इष्टापूर्तस्य काम्यानां विवर्तस्य च यो विधिः. Oh, big purpose, huh? Questions. Please explain unto me how the living entities are generated, how they are maintained, how they are annihilated. Tell me also the advantages, disadvantages of discharging devotional service. What are Vedic rituals, injunctions of the supplementary Vedic rites? What are the procedures of religion, economic development, self-stratification? So, Samplav, that means the complete devastation of the living entities. Vikramaha, a specific power or situations. Prati Sankramaha, ultimate destruction. Performance of Vedic rituals, pious acts in terms of religion, kamyanam rituals for economic development, three means of religion. And then cha yaha, so procedures. So actually, if you see in Prabhupada in the purport, Prabhupada has given there are certain things which is not there word to word, but just to have more clarification, Prabhupada has done this. If you see word to word, the Parikshit Maharaj wants to know more about the devastation of the living entities. And then Vikramaha, that means what are the specific power for the ultimate destruction? One is the small destructions of the living entities and ultimate destruction. Then how these Vedic rituals are performed. And these Vedic rituals are for three varga, that means Dharma, Artha, Kama. And what are the procedures? If you see, this is a simple question. Now, but how Prabhupada started? How the living entities are generated, how they are maintained, how they are annihilated. Then advantages of performing devotional service. You see, word to word is a thing like mentioned about it. So, but this is important, no? Discharging the devotional service to the Lord. Because here, specific power or situation has been given. Vikramaha. Krishna is Trivikrama. So, Vikramaha means Vishesha Rupena Krama. There, the word devotional service is subtly included. What are the devotional service which has to be performed? And what are those Vedic rituals which the people are interested for three vargas? So now this difference you can see from Vikramaha to Ishtaha. And this Ishtaha, this is only for its ultimate destruction only. All this dharma, artha, kama is nothing but it is only going to be ultimate destruction. These all will be annihilated. But Vikramaha, the Vishesha Rupena Kramaha, that is the Bhakti, that is not going to be annihilated. So in this way, it is very technical. Technical. If you see Prabhupada's word to purport, then Prabhupada has actually taught every word very nicely. What is Vikramaha is Vishesha Rupena Krama. Even though the living entity's body is annihilated, the activities will never be annihilated. That is why Vikramaha, that is devotional service. But what about the Vedic rituals? You perform any Vedic rituals, it is having an end. Because it's only for ultimate dharma, artha, kama, our own desires. So it is not that any swaha you are seeing is karma kanda. Even though karma kanda, you can use it for Krishna's service. That is devotion. Because Krishna has given many things to use it for his service, but we use it for our own benefit. That is our destruction. Okay. Now, who will read? Narayana will read. Big
Yes,
Purple read.
Mataji, I'll read. Yes, Mataji, I'll read. Samplava sarvabhutanam vikrama pratisankramaha ishtapurtasya kamyanam trivargasya chayo vidihi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Please explain unto me how the living beings are generated, how they are maintained, and how they are annihilated. Tell me also of the advantage and disadvantages of discharging devotional service unto the Lord. What are the Vedic rituals and injunctions of the supplementary Vedic rites? And what are the procedures of religion, economic development, and sense gratification? Purport: Samplava is the sense of perfect means. Samplava, in the sense of perfect means, is employed to denote the discharging of devotional service, and Pratisamplava means just the opposite, or that which destroys the progress of devotional service. One who is firmly situated in the devotional service of the Lord can very easily execute the function of conditional life. Living the conditional life is just like plying a boat in the middle of the ocean. One is completely at the mercy of the ocean, and at every moment there is every chance of being drowned in the ocean by slight agitation. If the atmosphere is all right, the boat can ply very easily, undoubtedly. But if there is some storm, fog, wind, or cloud, there is every possibility of being drowned in the ocean. No one can control the whims of the ocean. However, one may be materially equipped. One who has crossed the ocean by ships may have sufficient experience of such dependence upon the mercy of the ocean. But one can ply over the ocean of material existence by the grace of the Lord very easily without any fear of storm or fog. It all depends on the will of the Lord. No one can help if there is some unfortunate danger in the state of conditional life. The devotees of the Lord, however, cross the ocean of material existence without anxiety because a pure devotee is always protected by the Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritimashritaha bhajantya anantya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. The Lord gives special attention to his devotees in their activities within material conditional life. Again stated Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvesha sthito na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. Therefore, everyone should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and be a pure devotee of the Lord by all means. One should know, therefore, from the expert material master, spiritual master, the advantages and disadvantages of discharging devotional service. just as Maharaj Parikshit asked his spiritual master, Srila Shukadev Goswami. According to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the science of devotional service, one should not eat more than what he requires to maintain the body and soul together. Vegetable diets and milk are sufficient for maintenance of the human body, and therefore one has no need to eat anything more to satisfy the palate. One should also not accumulate money to become puffed up in the material world. One should earn his livelihood easily and honestly, for it is better to become a coolie for an honest livelihood than to become a great man in society by hook and crook. There is no harm if one becomes the richest man in the world by honest dealings, but one should not sacrifice the honest means of livelihood simply to accumulate wealth. Such an endeavor is harmful to devotional service. One should not talk nonsense. A devotee's business is to earn the favor of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee should always glorify the Lord in his wonderful creations. A devotee should not decry the creation of the Lord, defying him by saying that he has created a false world. The world is not false. Factually, we have to take so many things from the world for our maintenance. So, how can we say that the world is false? Similarly, how can one think of the Lord as being without a form? How can one become formless and at the same time have all intelligence and consciousness, direct and indirect? So, there are many things for a pure devotee to learn, and he should learn them perfectly from a bona fide personality like Shukadev Goswami. The favorable conditions for discharging devotional service are that one should be very enthusiastic in serving the Lord. The Lord, in his form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wanted the cult of devotional service to the Lord to be preached all over the world in every nook and corner. And therefore, a pure devotee's duty is to discharge this order as far as possible. Every devotee should be very enthusiastic, not only in performing his daily rituals of devotional service, but in trying to preach the cult peacefully by following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. If he is not superficially successful in such an attempt, he should not be deterred from the discharge of his duty. Success or failure has no meaning for a pure devotee because he is a soldier in the field. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring war against materialistic life. There are different kinds of materialists, such as fruitive workers, the mental speculators, the mystic jugglers, and so many others. All of them are against the existence of Godhead. They would declare that they are themselves God, although in every step and in every action they are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, a pure devotee may not associate with such gangs of atheists. A strong devotee of the Lord will not be misled by such atheistic propaganda of non devotees, but a neophyte devotee should be very cautious about them. A devotee should see to the right discharge of devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and should not stick only to the formalities. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one should see how much service is being executed and not simply in the matter of rituals. A devotee should not hanker after anything, for he should be satisfied with the things that may automatically come to him by the will of the Lord. That should be the principle of a devotional life. And all these principles are easily learned under the guidance of a spiritual master like Shukadev Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadev correctly, and one should follow his example. Maharaj Parikshit inquired about the process of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world, the process of Vedic rituals, and the method of executing pious activities in terms of the supplementary Vedas like Puranas and Mahabharata. As explained before, The Mahabharata is the history of ancient India, and so also are the Puranas. Pious acts are prescribed in the supplementary Vedas, Smritis, which specifically mention digging tanks and wells for the water supply of the people in general, to plant trees on public road, to construct public temples and places of worship of God, to establish places of charity where the poor destitutes can be provided with foodstuff, and similar activities are called purta. Similarly, the process of fulfilling the natural desire for sense gratification was also inquired about by the king for the benefit of all concerned. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So what is the meaning of purta? Digging wells, isn't it? That means doing some pious activity is also known as purta.
Social service.
Huh?
Social service.
Yes, social service. Purta. But Prabhupada says all these things, anyhow, they're only pious activities, supplementary, because they are just supplementary. Process of fulfilling the natural desires for sense gratification is also inquired by king for the benefit of all concerned. Last verse will take now. It's last verse. Yova Rushahinam Sarga Ashandasya cha Sambhavaha Atmano Bandha Mokshau cha Vyavasthanam Swarupataha. How merged in the body of the Lord living entities are created, and how the infidels appear in the world. Also explain how the unconditioned living entities exist. Anushainam, that means merged into the body. We are all in the body of Lord. Pashandasya. How these pashantis are created in films. Means how the cheaters also come. They are also in the body of the Lord only. Huh? And then at the same time, there are people who are, there are bandha mokshasya. They are liberated from this bandha. They are also existing. That means pashantis are also there. At the same time, the muktatmas are also there. They are all anyhow in the body of Lord. How they are all existing? So many questions are asked, isn't it? So many. We just write down and take. So many questions are there. Okay. Kusum read.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Well, I was thinking of completing to 26. All the questions will be over then. Is it okay? What do you think? But if you all are feeling sleepy, then
Yeah.
is it okay? I'll
Mataji.
complete.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you'll say yes only, but please I don't take today. I'll take it on Thursday. Okay. Do it, finish it. The last verse. Do Kusum, the last.
Yovan, yes. Yovanuषायिनां सर्ग पाषण्डस्य च सम्भवः आत्मनो बन्धमोक्षौ च व्यवस्थानं स्वरूपतः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please also explain how merged in the body of the Lord living beings are created and how the infidels appear in the world. Also, please explain how the unconditioned living entities exist. Purport: the progressive devotee of the Lord must inquire from the bona fide spiritual master how living entities merged in the body of the Lord again come back at the time of creation. There are two kinds of living entities. There are the ever liberated, unconditioned living beings as well as the ever conditioned living beings. Of the ever conditioned living beings, there are two divisions. They are the faithful and the infidels. Of the faithful, there are again two divisions, namely the devotees and the mental speculators. The mental speculators desire to merge into the existence of the Lord. or to become one with the Lord, whereas the devotees of the Lord desire to keep separate identities and constantly engage in the service of the Lord. The devotees who are not fully purified, as well as the empiric philosophers, become conditioned again during the next creation for further purification. Such conditioned souls become liberated by further progress of devotional service to the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit asked all these questions from the bona fide spiritual master in order to become fully equipped in the science of God. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Stop here. Anjakalpitarubyascha कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वैष्णवन्ति की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. We'll try to complete this chapter on Thursday. Start with the 9th chapter. Just 2 chapters are there to end the second canto.